support we have with the Franciscan Heritage here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And we are celebrating today the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And I was thinking about the ideas that are in the first reading, where the prophet says, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways," says the Lord. You know, my dear friends, we can't possibly understand the mystery of reality, which is the expression of God in our cosmos. And I was thinking back to the tragedy of the Second World War. And I can't possibly explain how all of that fits into God's plan, but I do know this. From that experience came expressions of God's love that may possibly never have happened otherwise. I don't know if some of you are familiar with the name Irene Chandler. She was a young psychologist in Poland at the beginning of the war. And when the Germans took over and they were collecting Jewish people for execution, she and 9 of her friends decided that they were going to do everything they could to save the Jewish children that were in Warsaw at that time. So they devised an intricate and creative way of moving Jewish children out of the ghetto of Warsaw. They went door to door to German families, Jewish families, and asked if they could please take their children and their grandchildren so they could save their lives. And over the few years that they worked, they saved 2,500 children. And they did it very lovingly. Irene was insistent that they keep all of the documents of each one of these children. And she kept them in milk bottles, which she buried behind her house. But they had to issue false identification for each of these children so that they could get out of the country in case they needed papers. And when the war was over, she spent huge amounts of time and her life looking for these children to give them the documents she had saved so that these children would know what their background was, what their name was, and what their family was. Ironically, her granddaughter eventually wound up in a Protestant family in Kansas City, Missouri. when this granddaughter found out about the work that her grandmother had done during those war years, she got friends together and they created and are still performing a play so that this truth about love will not be lost. And I went to the internet and I found her with these youngsters in Kansas. She was in her 90s, and these children gathered around her as if it were their own grandmother. And the love that exuded from that photo was absolutely phenomenal. You know, my dear friends, again I'm saying, I cannot explain, nor would I ever try to explain some of these tragedies that are part of our human history. But I do know that God's plan is perfect, and so my job is simply to go with the flow. Here at the Hermitage, we are making some significant changes in terms of those we minister to. Our center is interfaith. We don't care what religious affiliation a person has when they come here. If they want to know about the divine presence that is within them all the time, and how to be able to use that to make our world a better place and to give them a meaningful life, that's what we're here for. Our hope is that what we do here will offer what little bit of the puzzle we can to create world peace. For us, all we have to do is learn how to love everyone and to teach others to do the same. That's how world peace will come into existence. My dear friends, think about all the people whom God has put into your life, and understanding your job is to love every single one without exception. And your job is to use your life for spreading God's love everywhere you go. Think about that during this week and see what you can do about giving your love away generously to everyone whose lives you touch. Remember, you are a powerful, spiritual being, and your love makes a difference. Have a wonderful week.